the most underpowered, overpowered, worst hero in the game, best hero in the game, boring, simple, complex, misunderstood hero in the game has got to be Hanzo. Sombra. So what's the deal with that? Well, Sombra's a little confusing. She's the type of hero that makes you really dig into why things happen in Overwatch. People have different outcomes to handling the same scenario pretty much entirely because of this. A vast majority of gameplay styles are good, but everyone has a different one they say is best. A good example is how I always tell people to stop attaching themselves to health packs. Other streamers or even coaches would completely disagree with me, but to me, it seems like the most obvious way to maximize Sombra's kit. Personally, I've got a lot of success with it, but people in the exact same rank could easily completely disagree with me. This is why I enjoy playing her. It's a personal expression of how I personally view Overwatch and engage with the entire game. No other character in the game has such a lack of definitive correct action as Sombra does. With Widowmaker, you hit your headshots. Soldier, you shoot your bullets at the red things. And Genji, you build your ultimate till you get to build your ultimate again. So now that we're on the same page on that, let's talk about the Sombra hero herself. There's this strange phenomenon that happens with Sombra where everyone playing against her deems something as unfair, but because there's an experience gap in the why, they attack the outcome of a scenario instead of the things building up to it. And I mean, that's a lot of words, so I'll paint a picture. Sombra has an ability called Hack. If she holds right click on an enemy for slightly less than a full second, they get hacked. The next 8 seconds, they're visible through walls, and for only Sombra, they receive a little bit more damage per bullet shot by her. But the reason everyone's upset, for a second and a half, the person hacked can't use their abilities. And then there's her other ability, the Translocator. To me, it's the Swiss Army knife of Overwatch abilities. It just does everything. It cleanses, has an invincibility frame, instant teleportation, no matter the distance or height. But for some reason, everyone places it on a health pack and, well, that's it. That's all they do. And then there's EMP, widely regarded as one of the best ultimates in the game. Almost a guaranteed team wipe. You have to get into the middle of the enemy team to cast a big old orb, and anyone in that orb gets hit by 40% of their active health, gets hacked. But let's be real here. A second and a half is not a long amount of time. You can pretty much immediately use abilities to make Hack or even the entirety of EMP useless. So why does Hack feel so oppressive and unfun? Why do people use the most versatile mobility in the game for something so limiting? Well, her shift ability. Stealth. More accurately, permanently invisible stealth. Okay, imagine the scenario. You're standing as an Ana in the back line healing your team. You feel no danger, 10 seconds go by, all 4 of your teammates stand beside you. 20 seconds of silence happens, and your teammates slowly scatter across the map, taking angles. And then within the span of 2 seconds, a Winston jumps over a wall, and before you can sleep the Winston, out of nowhere, a Sombra unstealths, and you're hacked. You obviously die. The Sombra teleports away like nothing happened, and the Winston jumps to someone else on your team that you would have otherwise been healing. Or you're Reinhardt. You're standing at the front line with Shatter, and the enemy Reinhardt also has Shatter. You play knowing this. The enemy Reinhardt is too far away to Shatter, but he slowly walks closer. A 10-second mind game happens where you perfectly block off line of sight from the enemy Reinhardt to Shatter people. For a single second, your teammates stand behind your shield to heal you, or something. And in that exact second, you hold your shield so that the enemy Reinhardt can't do anything about it. But in the span of 2 seconds, a Sombra holds right click on you from behind and the enemy Reinhardt shatters the whole team. That doesn't feel fair. So was it her holding right click or her ability to wait? But why am I bringing this up? Well, when Sombra got her rework going from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, a lot of things were different than they are now. On launch, her hack had a 40% damage boost in line with her ultimate. Hack did 1.75 seconds of ability lockout, and you could hack people over and over again. During this time, her gun did 7 damage per bullet, which is why the 40% damage boost happened. There was a lot of yelling about how overpowered Sombra was and that she did too much damage out of nowhere. And this was true. She did too much damage. But to me, the emphasis should have been out of nowhere. The developers ransacked her ability and everything was decreased. There was no compensating buff. It was just bad. What followed was the lowest point for any hero in Overwatch 2's history. Lifeweaver version 1.0 just about matched Sombra's win rate, but then she got seemingly just a tiny little buff. Her gun's damage went from 7 damage per bullet to 7.5. To any other hero, that would have done absolutely nothing, especially not going from a 35% average win rate to suddenly around 50. Now, there were a lot of outside factors like how strong Sojourn or Kiriko were, but overall, this shouldn't have impacted Sombra as much as it actually did. She went from multiple brackets under the second worst hero in the game to being just about middle of the pack. A season later, everyone deemed her overpowered and everyone and their mother screamed for nerfs to Sombra. Suddenly her hack was oppressive, her 1-2-3 Winston dive was too oppressive. Everything that Sombra did resulted in people dying too fast and without any agency over their own gameplay. To me, the culprit is stealth, but literally infinite leeway to wait out till the perfect conditions like Batman waiting in the shadows to strike, to carry out an absurdly efficient assassination of just about anyone. So what happened next? That's right, start season 6, her ultimate charge got nerfed. We did it, boys, pack it up. We won. Sombra is balanced. If only. No. Now what's left of her is a bland hole of nothing. She doesn't do much damage, she doesn't have any range or pressure or any other Overwatch-related gameplay buzzwords. All she has is stealth. To just wait out till it's perfect for her to do anything with a kit that barely dents people, but somehow makes people feel like they're completely unable to do anything about her. People playing against her don't have fun, and people playing as Sombra don't even have fun anymore. So what gives? Why do I make this video now? Well, in Season 7, they're supposedly reworking Sombra. All we know from the interviews or Reddit AMAs is that the developers are talking about adding a new ability for her in exchange for another, have her be able to get punished more easily, more specifically regarding her translocator. And I like playing Sombra too much to not at least throw in my 2 cents. Whatever you do to Sombra, if stealth stays permanent, no matter what new ability you throw in, what aspect of her translocator you choose to gut, if stealth stays permanent and in her kit that way, all you'll be doing for the next 5 balance patches is beating around the bush and nerfing everything else in her kit until you're back to needing to rework her all over again. Anything hit with the multiplier of I have all the time in the world to wait for the perfect circumstance will automatically become oppressive in a game like Overwatch. So don't nerf the circumstance, nerf the ability to wait for it. Slap a timer on it like way back it was in Overwatch 1. That way you'll force the Sombra to hack when it's not ideal, to EMP when it's not ideal, which automatically means more counterplay, more expression of skill, and best of all, the chance to rebuff the rest of her kit because it's not being multiplied by infinite stealth.